Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, so Taurus, we have the Knight of Discs tonight. One of my favorite cards, probably because I'm a Virgo, right? A little biased, a little skewed towards the Earth cards. But this is a wonderful archetype, in my opinion. This is, well, I have to say, I have an acquired father, right? Somebody who has been like a dad to me for over 20 years now. And he's a guy that, and I think I can say his name. I try not to bring up people by name in my readings, people in my personal life, but his name's Keith. And Keith is ultimate Knight of Earth or Knight of Discs energy. Somebody who works with their hands, always has projects, knowledgeable about so many things in the physical realm, right? Somebody who has resolve, right? To get it done. It doesn't have to be a huge project. It doesn't have to be quickly. It doesn't have to be, a hugely successful endeavor. But there's still that thing. I always think of when Keith, when he says, he's still here. When he says, get it done right the first time so you don't have to do it again, right? And our dads, they all have these sayings, don't they? And that's really kind of that energy, right? Somebody who, even if it's a little thing, even if it's, a little chore, a little project, a responsibility, a favor somebody asks, it might not always get done, snappy, but it will get done because there is that resolve. And so I love this energy. I constantly try to meditate on this particular archetype because I have ADHD. It's hard for me to finish things sometimes, but to make it a goal, right? To see things to their completion. And so we'll see how this kind of interacts with the tea leaves, but I am really happy to see this card, right? So I'm gonna knock. I'm gonna lift this up and we're gonna go ahead and take a look. All right, so I wanna go ahead and say thank you so much for deciding to click on this reading. It is really always such a pleasure for me to be able to bring these messages to you and spend this time talking with you. So let's go ahead. We're going to first, usually I'll rotate the cup first, but I want to look at this right off the bat. We have these really interesting and intricate formations. Okay, so here we have, it looks like the head of a person, and you can see the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and even the hair up here. It seems like a kind of very stylized, almost kind of pompadour type large hair, kind of like a grimace, I would say, on the face. We also have a boot right here, and up here we have somebody sitting, reclining in a chair, and you can see the head there, and here's the chair. It kind of reminds me of what brand was it? It was an old commercial from like the early 90s, maybe even the 80s. It was the guy sitting in the chair. He's listening to the stereo. And I think it was for the cassette tapes. Maybe it was Maxwell. But anyways, the speakers go on, the music goes on, and it starts like blowing, you know, all this wind, this energy towards him, and his hair is like flying back. And that's kind of this energy I see right here, kind of sitting in a chair, a little bit slumped, you know, not doesn't have the best posture, but relaxing. Now above, it almost looks like we have an apparition. It looks like an animal as well. And I almost kind of feel like this is a place where very strong visions, maybe even synchronicities, coincidences, noticing patterns, symbols, numbers, words, letters, whatever, you know, whatever it is that the universe is showing you and you are seeing, I do feel like this is a very potent time for you. Now, over here, it looks like we have another person. You can see side profile, like they're looking over towards this person. And here's the eye, the nose, the mouth, and then the hair as well, kind of up in this way. These two standing next to each other, it really reminds me of, you know, I don't know, the 70s, that maybe the 60s, maybe the 70s, maybe the 80s, 1960, 1970, 1980, just to be clear. And I almost wonder if this is like your parents or your grandparents, maybe aunt, uncle, somebody in the family. And I almost kind of feel like we have a deer, we have the moon, we have the deer, we have the moon right up there, we have that boot. So I kind of wonder if this person they worked in law enforcement, or maybe the judicial system, maybe they were in the military in some capacity. Maybe they just were a very strict person. I feel like this person with the boot, it really, very kind of almost harsh way of communicating at times. We have the repeating threes as well. So 3 is an important number to them. I wouldn't be surprised if they had the life path 3. I feel like this is also a person who is very psychic, maybe clairvoyant. But I feel like this is almost perceived as a mental health issue. Or maybe it's kind of like a mental health issue that's really compounded by the ability, you know, the psychic abilities, right? It would be hard to tell in some cases if, you know, like is this some kind of, paranoia or hallucination or distorted thinking, you know, all kinds of things go through your mind. And I know if you're a practitioner of magic or the occult, witchcraft, you know that it's a very fine line. And if you've been in the culture at all, if you're a social practitioner or not, chances are you've known people over the years who have maybe, you know, left the path a little bit. They've gotten lost, you know, in that kind of labyrinth where, it is hard to tell. Like, is this magical work or is this madness? Are they the same thing? Do we know when one takes over the other? You know, and it's hard to say, and it's different for everybody. But we've all known people like this, right? I mean, I know I have. And you have to be careful. That's why we have to stay grounded. I know, like, when you get into magic, and I 100% guilty of this. You get into magic, you get into the occult, the mysteries, esoteria, whatever, and you start maybe doing some of the studying and the rituals, and you get just a little bit of understanding and maybe a little bit of success, and you're feeling confident, and you think, I don't have to do all of this like foundational stuff, this work. Like, I obviously know what I'm doing, so I'll just skip over some of these things, right? And that's where a lot of problems begin with people. Okay, I get super bored with grade systems and all of their literature and work and, you know, whatever. But I also know from my own failings that you have to do that foundational stuff. And a lot of that is about learning how to keep your feet firmly planted on the ground so that when you do the work and you are going into the cosmos, the interior, you're traveling different realms, you are, you know, communing with all kinds of different intelligences and so on, you need to be able to find your way back, right? But sometimes, right, you get so wrapped up in all of it, you are so immersed in this work that you do not take care of the Malkuthian or the physical world like we have to, and it is hard to balance the two, right? It's like anything else. If you are not taking care of yourself, you're not, you know, getting sleep and eating well and moving your body and getting fresh air and you know, reading and you know, hopefully creating stuff and laughing and spending time with people and, or, you know, animals or whatever, something else that's living, plants, just being around other things that are alive, right? Yeah, you start to lose the connection to the physical world. And that doesn't mean that you just transcend your body. No, usually your life begins to spiral. You start to seem very unhinged to people. Not that it matters what other people think, but, you know, we've all kind of seen the stereotype of like the mad wizard, or, you know, the wizard that's actually like somebody who is, you know, having like a mental health crisis or whatever. So I do feel like this person in your life, you are very connected to them. You have a soul bond with them. Even though I have this distinct feeling that this is like a dude that never said I love you, never, you know, congratulated you. Very hard person, very stern, very guarded, right? And also, I feel like just gone a lot, not around all the time. But at the same time, I feel like you are like their twin. And this, you know, all these things, they kind of manifest in a different way, but it's particular to you, right? And so maybe you have some of the same qualities, but the biggest connection is that you both have some kind of ability. And I believe it has to be not only intuition and probably some kind of clairvoyance, but I feel like you are somebody who has a lot of influence over other people. You're really good at kind of like, it's not like you're out here recruiting people or, you know, trying to talk people into doing stuff or whatever. I mean, maybe you're a salesperson. I think Tauruses are probably the best salespeople ever. But excuse me. But I feel like it's like, you know, you show up to a place, it's a party, you know, in somebody's backyard or something. There's like 10 people standing around in little groups. No, you know, the music is on, but nobody's doing anything. It's just kind of boring. And everybody seems kind of like, You're the one that comes in and you start dancing, you change the music, you're getting games going, people are starting to have fun, you're changing the whole atmosphere of the place, and they are drawn to you. And they want to be your friend, and they want to hear what you have to say, and they want to be, you know, close with you. And I feel like this is a quality that, yeah, you've worked on it and you've refined it, I'm sure, but I think it's something that runs through you naturally. And I feel like this family member is the person that comes from. Now, we have their spouse over here. And this person over here feels to me like the one that really runs the show, right? This is like the wifey, the mama, the one that is kind of quietly the boss of everything. I feel like you also get a lot from this person. If this is grandma, if this is auntie, if this is mom, I feel like, maybe would even be on the, I don't know, on the cusp of being a domineering woman. Which, listen, love a domineering woman. I've been called one myself before, and it was not a put down in my eyes. But yeah, I do. I feel like this is a lady that ran things, right? She knew the ins and outs of everything. She just absolutely, made it seem easy as well, right? And so I feel like you have this nice balance between the two. Very strong spirits here. And I feel like, I don't know, what is going on that they're so strongly coming up for you. But I almost wonder if this is kind of like an anniversary, because we're seeing the lovers, right? We're seeing this union, this bond, this powerhouse of a couple. Now, were they perfect? No. But I feel like they helped kind of mold the way that you are, who you are, how you behave, how you kind of, conduct yourself in the world. Obviously the people that we grow up around and the conditioning that we receive, it really does kind of, it puts us in a direction. Now, if we stay in that direction, that's up to us. But oftentimes they say, like, if you grow up around something, you're likely going to have some knowledge of it and maybe even a passion for it yourself. And so I feel like this is kind of a real confirmation that this is, kind of where the seed was planted for you. And it seems like a pretty beautiful thing. I mean, overall, they seem like pretty decent people. And we're lucky. Gosh, we're lucky. When we have people in our lives who know how to do things and they'll teach us and, direct us in a way, that might help us become successful at living, just living, surviving, taking care of ourselves, so that seems like quite a blessing for you. So we have the name Ed. And something about the ear. Something with the ear. Maybe an earache or some kind of this sounds so specific. I don't like talking about medical stuff on here because I'm not a doctor, obviously. I am not, licensed or certified to do anything. So don't ever take anything I say as medical advice. This is entertainment. We're here for entertainment. But it seems to me like this has something to do, a link with the skin on, like, around the ear. That's what it keeps coming through to me, is that maybe this has to do with needing to get something checked out. Like if there's like a bump, or you're getting, you know, some kind of growth, or skin that's discolored, and that's a new thing. Now, maybe this isn't you, but, you know, we get to a certain age, at least some point in our life, where we start to really realize we got to take care of our skin, and we have to make sure that we are protecting ourselves when we're going outside, and, you know, all that kind of thing. So maybe just a good reminder, right? And, you know, if this is not you, and you have, you know, this doesn't resonate with me, maybe it is a good time to be reminding the people around you, the people that you love and care about. Just check your skin, you know, and if you have anything that you have any kind of worry or questions about, do not hesitate to see somebody about it. Okay, let's see. We have somebody playing an instrument. It almost kind of looks like a violin. We have two people. We have a person sitting right here. Let's see. Right here. And you can see the head. The moon is behind the head. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fish. We have another person sitting here. You can see the head, the body, the legs. And looking out this way, this one looks like a duck from my angle. I don't know. Sometimes you can't see it the way that I do. But it's because if you can see, let me see if I can get it like this. There are layers to the leaves, right? And so when I look at it, sometimes the light is casting a shadow that the camera doesn't see, or just the angle is different, and it does look like a different thing. So we have the two people sitting around kind of looking at these fish. This one is obviously it's a larger person, a larger formation, and seated in this way reminds me very much of the Empress. Okay. Now, the fish represent money, resources. We have the number 22 as well. And I almost kind of wonder if you have an adult male child, or there is a masculine figure in your life who feels like at least a generation younger than you. And I feel like you almost are going into business together. Like you had an idea for some kind of, you know, hustle, or I don't know, a service, or, you know, whatever it is. I mean, there's so many things that one could do, right? As like a secondary stream of income. So I almost kind of, to me, I get this feeling that it has something to do I don't know if it's something like house cleaning, or car detailing, or power washing, or, you know, something like this. I feel like it is a physical job. But I don't think it's your primary work, at least yet. But we have all these fish, so I do feel like if this is the kind of, company where you're getting clients and you're trying to build that part of the business up, I absolutely feel like it is going to be taking hold quickly. Not like, down the road, you're going to be working at it for 5 years and finally you start to, get some clients. And, sometimes business takes a long time to build up. But I feel like for you, you have a service or a skill that is in demand. And maybe within your niche or your industry, there's not a lot of availability, or maybe you are like myself. I live out in the middle of nowhere. So I'm lucky that I live near a couple of cities and some large towns, but sometimes you just can't find somebody to do the work that you need done, right? And so what do? Maybe start a business. But I do feel like, this is something where you're going to be pleasantly surprised how busy you get with it. So if you're kind of sitting around thinking, maybe we should do this, I don't know, you're kind of like sitting at dinner, just kind of shooting the SH, and you start to say, oh, well, we should really get that, car washing business going, or that, like, I don't know, tire removal business going, or whatever it is, right? Do it. Get into it. I really feel like, we live in a time right now where, and I'm rubbing my eyes just thinking about it, the economy is wild, right? There's no promise of anything right now. And the old world is crumbling. It's been for a long time, right? But we're that transitional set of generations. We're the ones that are going from an analog world into the, brave new future. And it's a lot, right? It's a lot. But I don't know about you, and maybe I'm just a little bit naive and a little bit too optimistic, but I feel like this is a time where we can succumb to our fear, right? We can give that power away, or we can see this as an opportunity to do the things that we otherwise wouldn't have done, right? A lot of us need to find new ways to make money. A lot of us need to find ways to be more self-sufficient and not dependent on other people's whims, which I know we all are, basically, right? But we have to start learning how to do things. We have to start being creative in the mind, innovative, trying stuff that maybe, you never even considered, or maybe it's something that you've always loved doing, and, it's like a hobby, but you didn't think that it would make any money, so you just never tried, right? It's why would I waste my time? You would be surprised. I mean, look at, if you know my husband and I, my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot, his name is Paul. He's an amazing tarot reader. Go check him out if you've never seen him. But if you do know who we are, or you're getting to know us, you might not know that, we just started our channels a few years ago. I guess it's been almost 3 for Paul, I think. And like everybody else, we just had kind of regular entry-level jobs, and, nothing to be ashamed of, but, we're just working class, regular people trying to eke it out. And then we had a daughter, and then all that stuff happened in 2020, and, we started to see that the world is changing more rapidly, both personally and collectively, than we had expected it to. And so we had to figure out, like, well, what can we start trying to do? Right? And so my husband, he wanted to start a channel. And I said, all right, well, you know, it's a good hobby. I hope you have fun doing it. You know, I want to see your video or your readings when you, you know, and I was like, that's weird. Not weird that he wanted it, but it was, you know, just out of nowhere. And, I'm not going to say that it immediately was successful, you know, but it took time. It took time, and it took a lot of faith, and it took a lot of work, and it's still a lot of work, and, you know, all that. But it's something we both love to do. I love reading for people. I love that I get to study the mysteries, and it is for my work. Like, I don't feel guilty, you know, sitting in bed reading, because it's research for work. But yeah, I just know, I know this is a fertile time for so many of us. It is a time to be brave. It is a time to take some chances. It's a time to do the things that you have been wanting to do. Try it. I don't care if you are making some little craft that you think nobody would care about. Take it to the farmer's market. You know? I don't care if you just learned how to do something. Maybe you just learned how to, you know, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, bake quick breads, and you really like doing it, and they're really yummy, right? Do that. Start a cottage business. If you're in America, look into cottage businesses. That's where you should start out, you know, before you go full bakery. But, you know, just whatever it is, try it. The world is chaotic. It seems like it is more so than it used to be. It's not. It's always been super chaotic. We're just so aware of it right now. We have access to all of the information all the time, 24-hour news, you know, social media, whatever. It's a lot. It's overwhelming. But how we take back our power is by educating ourselves, gaining skills, and being able to do things. Whenever I have anxiety or I'm feeling out of control in my life, I go and learn something. I don't care if it's, I learned how to take the little ring thing off of the bottom of the sink so I can get all the hair out of there. That makes me feel powerful. I know how to do that. I don't have to ask anybody else to help me. Or maybe I go and learn how to, you know, I don't know. Right now I'm studying composting to build like the troughs for my compost. So, you know, that's making me feel equipped and powerful because I have a deeper understanding of how it all works. So that's what I feel like we should be doing. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. But get out there, learn some stuff, start that business, do that thing. We have the letters HM and we have the number 101. We have a hat. It almost looks like a cowboy hat, but not exactly. And we have birds. So I feel like it's like this onslaught of signs. it just, and I feel like this goes back even to the first guy we were talking about for a long time. I feel like there's this like communication that is happening. I don't know exactly what it is they're showing you though. But I feel like you're gonna know. You're gonna figure it out. I'm just waiting to see if they're going to show me anything else. I don't know why. I keep seeing Helsinki. Maybe the city Helsinki. Is that how you say it? I don't know. Tell me in the comments if I said it wrong. I don't even know that I've ever heard somebody say that out loud. I've seen it though. I've seen the word. Okay, let's see. We're going to roll this thing. 96. 90. 18. All right. And we will finish with our gratitude affirmation cards. Okay. Abundant harvest. I am grateful for the vast resources in the world open to me. I glean abundance. I glean abundance from plentiful food options, diverse cultural changes, education, and advancements in technology. This is what we were just talking about. Practice. Reflect on a resource that has provided you with sustenance for your mind, body, and soul. Huh. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I don't remember that card. I maybe haven't gotten it very often. Okay, and then we'll finish with our inner child inner child oracle cards. I always say affirmation. They're not affirmation cards. Come on, Lenor. Okay, this one kind of wanted to jump out. Okay, 33. Speak to yourself with kindness. Become aware of how you speak to yourself. Which is so funny because I'm literally just about to put out a post that says, where is it? I don't want to mess it up. It says, be kind to yourself. It's hard to be happy when someone is mean to you all the time. True. Okay, Taurus, I want to tell you I love you because I do, and thank you so much for spending this time with me. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Other than that, please take care of yourself. We're going to talk in a few days. Good night.